I feel like this is going to be an episode of us literally just sitting here and going like, "That's fucking weird."
Nodding our heads as James tells us more and more obscure facts about Disneyland.
Uh,
Oh,
slowly getting more enthusiastic about it and being like, "Right, guys?"
It's like,
yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Welcome to the Centerless Society.
But these are fictional characters. Fictional characters. Am I getting broody?
Ready to see a grown-ass man cry about some Star Wars and Space Wizard?
You shall have my
Bombadil. Tom Bombadil walks up and he's basically like, "Boy, get off him!" And the tree's like, "Oh my bad."
Let's all have a good time and have fun. But
Hello, and welcome back to the Centerway Society.
That wasn't any better.
have you been practicing that?
Fuck you. No, I've been able to do it for years.
No, I meant for just specifically saying Centerway Society.
No.
Oh, okay.
He's good at voices, dude.
This is the start of the episode. We're
Okay,
live
okay,
now.
just keep fucking going,
So-
James.
So, welcome back to the Centerway Society, as Mickey so wholeheartedly said. I'm here, the keymaster, for all the fun purposes. I do have something new I'm going to show you guys next week. I meant to bring this up during the B-roll, but with me tonight is Dustin
Sup?
and Rob.
Oh, hi. No, that was not very good. Sorry.
But
You know what? Fuck this.
unfortunately,
You know what?
we
Hold on. No, never mind. Go ahead.
unfortunately, Jordan could not be with us tonight. He is out with Disney flu.
Yes. The Iron Man streak has come to a screeching halt once again.
No, we wish him well. We wish him to get better because we want him back next week. We're gonna have some fun. But tonight, guys, if you couldn't tell from my hat, my voice, and my shirt, we're discussing Disney.
SeaWorld forever.
Yeah, but not just any Disney. We're gonna discuss the Disney theme parks and all these theories,
'cause
myths, and everything else they got going on.
we're all hardcore Disney guys.
This is
Well-
100% your thing, James.
Yes, it really is. So we always make the joke about me being a Florida boy. I am 6 hours
What?
away
You
from
are?
Disney. Yeah. However, I'm up in the Panhandle. I'm not down there where Disney is.
That's sad.
I'm 6 hours away. I can get to Atlanta before I can get to Orlando.
Can we
But-
establish something like real early in the episode?
What?
Even being somebody who also lived in Florida for a long time, I will never remember which one's Disneyland and which one's Disney World.
Oh no, not at all.
So I'll explain that. So Disney World is in Orlando, and it's because he legitimately wanted all these resorts and stuff like that. He wanted it to be you go onto this property and you're not you're not in Florida, so to speak. You're on a whole different area. So he wanted it to feel.
So
So
you're
you're
in
on a
Florida
different-
and you're like, I don't want to be here. I want to be in a different world
you're in
that's
a-
not Florida.
Yeah. But you're in
Somebody
a
get me the hell
world
away from
type
Florida.
thing.
Yeah, you're in California. You're like, you know what? This place is kind of dope. This is Disneyland.
So
It's
so
land in
Disney
California.
World is spread out miles upon miles upon miles. The Disney World or Magic Kingdom is where the castle is. It's separated by a lagoon. Epcot, the Ball, and Hollywood Studios with Tower Terror are pretty much next door neighbors. And then you got to drive to just about the edge of the property of Disney, 192, where Animal Kingdom is. So it's huge. Disneyland is just the two parks plus downtown Disney in that area. So it's just that one spot.
Okay.
Well, Disney World just kind of expands. It's got 2 water parks, 4 parks, Disney Springs, multiple resorts. I can't remember how many, but they're all at least over $300 a night.
An ass ton of traffic.
Yeah, tons
Well,
of traffic.
isn't there's a military
There is Shades
resort.
of Green.
Shades of Green, because my brother stayed there a couple times. And if you're military, you can get some pretty decent deals.
Yes,
So,
you can. My
where you're not
grandfather
paying
got
out
us good
fees, so.
deals. So, but we never stayed there.
Yep.
But there's also like you can still stay at a Holiday Inn on property. They've got some like DoubleTree. Some of the bigger or the actual chain names are there. So
Hey, Galaxy's Edge has its own like Millennium Falcon,
not
something or
anymore.
another.
Not so much.
Yeah, it was the Disney
What?
Star or Cruise Line. I can't remember what it was exactly called, but it was not supposed to be. I will go ahead and say this: it was not supposed to be a hotel. It was supposed to be like a cruise experience.
I'm fine with that. I want to
Yeah,
stay
so
in a Millennium
it
Falcon.
was cool, but because you had it was in a Millennium Falcon. It was just a it was like you're on a spaceship for real though.
I thought it
But
was like a big Millennium Falcon you walk in.
no,
No?
I mean
Oh,
it's a big building, kind of looks like a spaceship, but that's about
okay.
it. Um,
Hmm.
but they would take you. You're in this building, and it's like you're in space the entire time you're on there. I think you had to pay like $3,000 per visit or something like that, or per
It
person.
is a canon Star Wars experience, James.
Yeah, but it was expensive, and nobody wanted to pay it. And
Maybe they shouldn't have
the
made it
reason
so expensive.
and the
Just saying.
reason people wanted, and I mean, it's still a want. Like people want a Star Wars hotel, but they don't want a Star Wars cruise. Is the best way to put this. So that's what I think where it failed is because people were thinking they were going to be able to use it as a hotel and then go to like the parks and stuff. You can go for an expedition
Mm-hmm.
to Hollywood Studios where Star Wars Land is, or the Galaxy's Edge is.
Mm.
But and you can venture off to other spots, and you're supposed to wear a bracelet if you're there. So,
Okay. Well,
but yeah,
supposedly me and you might be going to Disney at the end of
we
the
gotta
year.
figure out what park we're going to hit because
What?
yeah,
Yeah. So this is actually awesome. Like I'll get some
But-
Disney info and then I'll get to bug the shit out of somebody
Yeah.
at
You
the
guys
park.
didn't
Like,
invite me? I see how it is. Hmm.
you're a SeaWorld guy.
James, I forgot. I'm inviting Rob.
That's because he likes SeaWorld so much.
I do. You can mostly blame Caitlin for that. No.
He likes to swim with the fishes, but he's not Italian.
That was
Okay.
so terrible.
Anyway,
was.
just get
But
the
anyway,
fucking theories. Disney
So
adult.
I am I won't consider myself a Disney expert. I will say I am a Disney veteran. I have been to
Oh.
Disney multiple times. Some of my favorite stuff to do at Disney is actually not the rides, but talk to the cast members, as their employees are called. They are not employees; they are cast members.
That's because
That's
it
one
takes
thing.
too long to wait for the rides.
So yeah,
Can I
well, that's true.
can I just can I take one moment, please?
Yeah.
I've been to Disney one time. I went to Disney about 7 or 8 years ago. It was right after Christmas, so it was probably the worst time to go.
Yes,
I went on 3 rides. I was there all day.
sounds about
I-
right for
I
Disney.
I spent 2.5 to 3 hours waiting for the Star Wars ride. The the one where you're like walking through, you see R2 and C3PO, and it's like almost like a 3D kind of you bump
That's
around
Star
ride.
Tours.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
kind of like the Spider-Man ride at Universal, James?
Yeah,
Like that?
pretty
similar,
much.
yeah.
Except
But
it doesn't move around. You're in
Yeah.
like one little room.
then I went and like It's a Small World and Pirates of the Caribbean. That's all I did the entire day. We went to like 2 or 3 shows, but that's about it. Man, Disney is incredible. It is an incredible park. It is
It's there. I
quite
mean, they're
majestic. But nah, I would rather go to SeaWorld. I could do everything in one day at SeaWorld. That and
So-
I get to see orcas. So
Hey,
I like how
Disney
you
tip.
say
and penguins.
I like how you say everything, but it's literally like I'm gonna go stare at a killer whale.
There are rides and there are experiences. And have you ever touched a walrus? I've touched a walrus. I wasn't supposed to, but I did.
There's rides at SeaWorld?
Yeah, there's roller coasters. There's like 5 roller coasters, 6 once the penguin one opens next
I
year.
literally thought it was just a
Eh,
big like
No, they've
No,
got
and
there's-
like Shamu was
It
just
used to
staring
be.
at you.
There's
like, I want
rides,
to
there's
die.
dude,
maybe we'll go
Good
when we're
for-
down in Orlando.
go to SeaWorld. It is a lot of fun. I love it. It is, you know what? I will bring Caitlin. We will all go, and
And
you
we'll go
can
to Sesame's
experience,
Place.
and you can experience the Caitlin version of SeaWorld.
You mean
'Cause-
where we argue about whether or not like that whale is cooler than like a space whale?
Yes. Sorry, continue. But yeah,
No, so anyway,
Disney is a
this
great park. It was crazy. We
uh,
didn't do anything, so it kind of
all right.
sucked.
So I'll do a Disney tip.
Okay, Disney tip.
If you want to go for if Christmas decorations is your thing, Disney's an amazing place for Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
Go in November. They put up
Okay.
October 31st, 12 o'clock hits. They immediately switch over to Christmas. They take all their Halloween stuff down, put up all their Christmas stuff. Go about mid-November. I think we used to go around Veterans Day and stuff.
Yeah.
There's still some lines, but it's not as bad. And I
They
mean,
have
it
a
may have
crew of about
changed.
2,000 people who tear everything down and put it back up all in one night.
Yes, and it's amazing. It's
My God.
amazing.
All right.
But let's
Continue.
start on these theories and myths. And how about we start with a really crazy one?
Please.
No death has ever happened on Disney property.
That we know of.
So here's where the theory comes into play.
Okay.
So the myth is that Disney parks, Disney themselves, will not allow a death to be like, you know how they call time of death and stuff like that. They will not allow a death to be declared on Disney property. They have to get them off property.
That
until
is
they declare it.
fucked up. How many people have died on Disney grounds and they
There has
refuse
been-
to acknowledge it?
There's been multiple reports of unresponsive people, but exactly. But there is a
Oh,
reason.
you're not allowed to die here. Get out.
Clear.
Throw his
All right,
corpse.
he's good. Let's get him off. Part of the theory is that most of the time they don't declare death though until you get to the hospital.
Because it's the happiest
something.
place on earth,
It's-
and we
that's
won't
the
let you
crazy part.
sully a good time.
You're not
But
allowed to die
like
here.
I've heard this theory for years and years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's got a little bit of say or play to it because there's really, I mean, they don't declare death on property, but it's a lot of times it's because it's somebody having a heart attack or something like that. They're trying to work on them until they get
Yeah.
to the hospital, and then they're DOA, so that's when they declare death. That's really where this myth comes from.
This feels like a conspiracy theory in the making. That's all I'm gonna say.
It does, yeah. It does. I mean, pretty much, yeah. You're not allowed to die on Disney property. Get off,
Yeah.
But yeah. So
Could you
it's a
imagine your
crazy-
heart seizing during like It's a Small World or something? And then like the EMTs get there and then you see like a bright white light and you realize it's literally just the end of the tunnel. And they're like,
Gotta get him clear. No.
yeah, okay, here we go.
But speaking of death,
Oh no.
let's go on to the next theory. So this is about one of my favorite rides. If you can't tell, I've got the Hitchhiking Ghost here behind me. They're actually in front of me. I've got a Haunted Mansion hat. Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride at Disney. But the theory is that it is actually haunted.
That's the whole fucking point.
No, so it's the point of the ride, yes, but it's not. I mean, they're not real ghosts. It's animatronics and stuff with really cool mirror.
That's what
tricks
you
and
think.
everything.
Are they lying to us?
I think they are.
Yes,
Wait,
that's
Haunted
definitely a
Mansion
lie.
actually isn't haunted? I thought that was the whole point of the ride.
Well, apparently,
has to be
according to
haunted.
this theory, it is.
Oh my goodness.
There's multiple rides at Disney World that are haunted,
Cool.
including.
But what
Pirates-
if no one's died? So it can't be haunted.
exactly right? Well, here's
It's
where
the
theory
disgruntled ghost that spent like $3,000 to show up and they only got to ride 3 rides the whole day.
here's where the theory kind of comes from too, is because you're kind of we're gonna go back to Supernatural, where like your ashes or your whatever kind of is what your
People
spirit
spread like
connects to.
ashes and
Yeah. So people, and I'm going to tell you this: do not do this. If you are listening and you plan on going to Disney and spreading your ashes, you ain't gonna be there long.
Who?
So Disney
Who is
immediately
planning on spreading their ashes?
Who
It
spreads their
happens-
own ashes at Disney? You're
it's- they
dead.
have
You
people-
can't.
Yeah, people try it all the time.
I know,
and,
it's
like
making a joke.
they will call you out. They will many people have tried and they immediately come and vacuum you up. That is not a joke. I wish it was. It is not a joke.
What do they
Ashes.
do against dead people at Disney?
It's not that they're it's because it's a biohazard. So many
Um,
people have tried to spread their ashes in like the water at Pirates of the Caribbean. Many people have tried to do it at Haunted Mansion. They will shut the ride down, evacuate people, and then go vacuum it up because it is a biohazard. So do not do it because you will not be there long. Do
you will
not have
get
a loved one do it. You will be in space of a vacuum. But
that's sad.
yeah. But that's where this theory kind of plays off to too. And I have so I was saying this earlier. When I go to Disney, I talk to like cast members. If you talk to some of the cast members, I usually do it on the parade routes.
Mhm.
When you're waiting for a parade, that's usually when they're a little bit more talkative with you. The people working the counters at the food restaurants won't really do it. Dustin knows I've done this because we did it at Universal Studios when we were waiting for Halloween Horror Nights. We sat and talked with the bartender at Moe's.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we got a lot of information on stuff around Universal. I think that's where I got the butterbeer recipe from Harry
Yeah.
Potter.
Mm.
So
I've got a little anecdote about cast members. I don't know if this is on your list. Do you have anything on there about the Woody is coming myth
the Andy is coming, yeah. So it was
or
a real thing,
Andy?
but now it's no longer. They'll stop. They just kind of ignore you now.
I watched a Meat Canyon video, if you know what I'm talking about, Papa Meat, whatever, YouTuber. Anyway, he was talking about crazy Disney adults, and there's this woman screaming like Andy is coming. Andy is coming. And it just cuts to the Woody and Buzz Lightyear, and they just look like they're regretting every life choice
Yeah.
they ever made up
So
until that point.
it was a Disney secret at one point. If you say Andy is coming, they would not fall to the ground most of the time because that would damage the costumes, but they would freeze in place so
Hmm.
that they would
Yeah.
be like toys. But now they just ignore you because it's been done because it got out and it's been done so often. They
It's not
just
a thing. It's
yeah,
yeah.
And
no
there's
longer a thing.
dozens of videos of just people just screaming at him.
I'm like
Just
just
like,
ruining people's hopes
They're
right
like,
now.
leave me alone.
yes,
They're like, I'm tired of you
I
people.
make minimum wage and I'm in this hot ass suit.
And that's actually one of the things that I learned from a cast member on a parade route was I talked to him about that because I was like, they don't actually do that, right? They told me not anymore. They
Okay.
explained to me that they want to drop because yeah. But the I've talked about the haunted stuff and they do have a couple of ghosts that they refer to by name. I can't remember the names right now, but one is in the Haunted Mansion.
Mhm.
And then there's one in the Pirates of the Caribbean.
And we
Ooh.
need to clarify that they did not die on the grounds of Disney,
No.
and they
And
were
their
vacuumed
ashes were
up.
not yeah.
Yeah.
They're stuck
They
in a
were
vacuum somewhere.
they were vacuumed up immediately. Um, yeah.
But I mean it's a crazy theory to think about that. I mean the Haunted Mansion's one of the older rides there. So
Mhm.
there's no telling what could have happened before all these other things were put into place.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorite theories is the Haunted Mansion is actually haunted. So
It's
Well,
pretty interesting.
one would hope so,
so
considering
this
it's a haunted mansion.
Pretty lore
did y'all
accurate.
did y'all ever watch any of Phineas and Ferb at all? I know it's like really like
Mm-mm.
do you have any family members who watch Phineas and Ferb or anything like okay.
Not that I know of.
So this theory kind of reminded me of it because I followed the actor who played the evil doctor
Oh yeah.
on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's always naming the evil doctor's always naming his like things. It is a shrinkinator or it's a da-da.
Yeah.
So this theory revolves around Disney having a smellinizer or smellizer.
The fuck is
I
a
can't remember.
smellinizer?
So this is an actual it is a thing at Disney that
Okay.
Disney will pump in smells to the rides. One good example is that when you're flying over California on Soarin', you smell oranges at one point.
Mm.
When you're on Pirates of the Caribbean, you're supposed to smell like the water. Like the water smells like salt water and stuff.
Oh,
When you're on Haunted Mansion, you smell kind of a musty, crusty mansion.
Interesting.
But this theory revolves around them using this technology to make you buy shit.
when you're
Yeah.
flying
Yeah, so
on the
when you're walking
sequel.
down Main Street.
Yeah.
They're blowing out the smells of cinnamon rolls and popcorn and making you hungry.
I mean, that's smart.
Yeah.
When you're on the Star Wars ride that's set during the sequel era, do you get a wafting smell of shit?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I will say, Dustin, if we go to Galaxy's Edge, you'll be a little bit disappointed because it is a lot of the sequels.
Oh, I don't care as long as
Yeah.
it's Star Wars. I
Yeah.
I am going to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
It's a canon Star Wars experience, James.
But it is a theory. Some of my cast member friends can neither confirm nor deny that it is real.
Yeah.
I've actually been told that they will neither confirm nor deny.
That the
But
smell
the
inject
smellinizer
smell.
is for real. Yeah.
So how do we know it's called a smellinizer?
That's just I think that's just the name Disney fans came up with for it.
Okay.
It definitely smells. Definitely sounds like something that Disney fans would come up with.
If it's not set in stone, Disney has not confirmed it, it's not canon.
Yeah.
I want to workshop that name. Smellinizer sounds dumb to me.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
You'd come
That's a
up with
good call.
something else, yeah. But I mean, I like I've said, I've been to Disney plenty of times. You walk by the Starbucks, you smell the Starbucks. You get to the confectionery, you do smell the smells coming from the inside. However, it could just be because those are high traffic areas because it is on Main Street, right when you're walking in,
Yeah,
and those doors are open and closing all the time.
that's true.
Okay.
So,
So I get the idea behind Pirates of the Caribbean, like the rides,
yeah.
stuff like that. I've never walked past a Starbucks and not smelled coffee.
It's
Exactly.
true.
That's where I'm
I
getting at. That's why I'm calling this a myth or a theory.
yeah.
Because I don't think it's Disney pushing this out. I think it's just the smells coming from the inside of the building.
Well,
So,
yeah.
but
Hmm.
yeah. So this is where we're gonna get to Keys territory, boys.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
So this one is about a theme or a water park that was shut down and abandoned by Disney. It was called River Country.
That sounds
And
familiar.
yeah, so it was extremely close to the Magic Kingdom. They used waters from the Seven Seas Lagoon, which is the lagoon that you cross to get to the Magic Kingdom from the Ticket Transportation Center.
Yeah.
Um, Unfortunately, they closed it down for multiple reasons. One of the main reasons was a uh, brain-eating amoeba, if I remember correctly, in the water.
Okay.
And
So,
and nobody died there.
uh, yeah, we'll say that they died lots later with the brain-eating amoeba. But the theory that goes behind this, and I have not been able to get anybody to give me a yay or nay on this either, was even though the park was closed, not being used, that the music still played for a few years. So they had music going still.
That's
Like,
disconcerting.
like it was haunted by music.
So, like if you walked up on it, you'd probably think it was haunted because it would creep you out. But I've heard that most of the Disney parks and stuff too, like Magic Kingdom, the music will still be going throughout the night. So it's just like something they don't shut off. So even though it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, nobody's at Disney, the music's still playing.
And you know that's not purposeful. Anybody and everybody here has worked a
Yeah.
job where they had music playing the whole day. And if
Mhm.
you had the option to turn that shit off, it would get cut off.
Yeah. Like
Mm.
I would kill the radio at the shop on it
Brief
constantly.
sidebar. I
Yeah.
used to work at Busch Gardens, doing grounds maintenance, aka I had a giant hose and I sprayed the ground. One time
Sounded
it was
sus.
it was
Okay, go ahead.
it was during Hollow Scream,
Yeah.
and it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was just really getting started. I normally start around like 4, but I was just getting started and I started spraying. And then all of a sudden, it was like the Dark Side of the Gardens, that music, if you remember that. Do you remember that at all, Dustin?
Yeah.
That started playing because it's that creepy little girl voice. It just randomly started playing. Like no one else was really around. So I'm just like, I
Fuck
think I'm
this.
gonna take like I'm gonna take a break right now, guys.
Yeah.
When does the
So I'm
sun come
gonna
up again?
This ain't
I'm-
Disney. Like people have died at Busch Gardens, like on the regular.
So I'm gonna go off with what Rob said.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is at Halloween Horror Nights with Dustin actually. They used to have the Barney area at Universal,
Uh-huh.
and one of the lines for the haunted houses would take you through like the waiting area of that, and they still had the music going, and it's just like kids singing like, you know, here is Thumpkin here, and you're like, oh Jesus, like it made it creepier.
Yeah, some Tiny
Uh,
Tim like
because it wasn't,
tiptoe through the road.
and
You know.
it wasn't like it was loud, it was like faint. And
Yeah.
I think that's what made it so creepy was because of that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cookies
you're
and
gonna like
shit.
this one, and this one I've actually got from a Disney cast member.
Uh-oh.
I won't say her name or anything, mostly because I forgot it. But
Won't say their name, not her, because we don't want to give anyone's gender away, just in case Disney police try to narrow it down.
I could have been saying her just to throw you off the thing, the trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, let's
Yeah.
go with that.
Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
so they told me that even though the park is closed, this is going into the music playing and stuff, that the park is closed, that It's a Small World will shut down the music. However, the animatronics will still be going.
Mm, no, I don't like that at all.
It's like some Five Nights at Freddy's shit or something,
Yeah,
right?
so like they'll be in there cleaning out because people like to throw money and stuff in there, and they'll have to clean it out like every once in a while. So they'll be going through to get the money and stuff out, and you'll just see.
Dude, I'm just convinced at this point. I know I'm harping on it, but like Disney is built on an Indian burial ground or some
It's a
shit.
very
Like,
real possibility.
this is like some Stephen King shit. They Disney World is built on a mountain of corpses.
Waltz
It
is one of
is.
them.
So technically, when you're walking through the Magic Kingdom, you're walking on the second story. I don't know if y'all know about this. Yeah. So
What?
yeah, so Magic Kingdom is built. It's they call it the second story, and this is legit, Rob. I know you're.
Okay.
So the first story is what they call the tunnel system.
Oh yeah,
And
that makes sense.
yeah, so this was because of when Walt was walking around Disneyland one time. He was sitting in Tomorrowland enjoying a snack, just watching the people. All of a sudden, one of his cowboys from Frontierland just comes walking through, and he realized that's kind of a magic killer, is what we'll say.
It
It takes
destroys
away.
the magic of the yeah.
Yeah, so they have a tunnel system down underneath the Magic Kingdom for employees to get to their certain areas.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they call that the first floor.
Okay.
That's the basement, sir.
No, because
I'm
it's
gonna have to agree with
built
him.
on a hill.
It's
They built it up. Disney's so the we talked about the Seven Seas Lagoon earlier about the
yeah,
water. It is a man-made lake or
of course it
lagoon,
is.
and the dirt from that lagoon was used to build up the park around.
Over the tunnel system.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
I could argue this to death, but I'm gonna drop it.
Considering it is underground, that is technically considered basement
It is a basement.
or crawl
Right?
space.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you hate those things, right?
no, I've been doing it for 12 years. It doesn't bother me
Okay.
at all.
Hey, y'all want to go back to the Haunted Mansion though?
No.
So we're gonna go back anyway because
Okay.
I want to go back to the Haunted Mansion. Do I
So
hear
we're-
sleigh bells?
Hopefully not in the
oh
haunted
wait,
mansion.
Slay, SLAY.
That I met that.
Because the theory is you die on the Haunted Mansion. That's part of the ride. You're not actually dead. So don't go
No.
back to theory number one, Dustin.
That's my favorite one so far. You should have ended the episode with that.
I really should have, yeah.
Yeah.
But the theory is, and I mean, it kind of stems from the Haunted Mansion. Actually, has a pretty good backstory behind it.
Yeah.
A lot of the Disney rides had a story to them before they revamped them. The Haunted Mansion unfortunately fell under this. Originally, there was the Haunted Mansion movie with, um, help me out, Eddie
Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
kind of played into it, and then this new past Haunted Mansion kind of played into it, with the characters. The actual ghost of the main character is the main guy of the Haunted Mansion. His
Oh.
wife is killed by a fortune teller who it goes on, and then you get up into the attic and you see the heads being cut off, in the photos, so to speak.
Okay.
You don't really see their heads being cut off. They just kind of disappear from the body in the photos. But that is a scene where Miss, I can't remember her name to save my life right now. It come to me like after the episode,
You really
but
need to write these things down, man.
I do. But she would cut off her husband's heads. They would mysteriously have their head taken off, and she would take their money and run.
Seriously.
That was like
But
her jam or something?
yeah, pretty much. But at the end of the ride, the thing turns around and you go out toward a balcony, and then you fall back, or it tilts back. And that's where you get, like, when Disney happens, you get the best back pop of your life right there. Because it turns back and you lean back and you just go crack, crack, crack.
That's how you
But
can tell when a man's getting old, when he's like,
yeah,
that's the best back crack you're
yeah,
gonna
no.
get. Haunted Mansion,
Yeah.
like 5 p.m., middle of November, you're picking up your ornaments. Nobody's dead here.
Yeah, no. But
Yeah.
the theory is that and the story behind it is that you get pushed out the window and off this balcony and you're falling to your death, and then all of a sudden you're joining the party in the haunted mansion or in the haunted graveyard.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
so
So
there's like a theme to the ride, and there's like
yeah,
some context you're missing.
so they kind of kept in the same stuff, but it's not there. So now it's become a myth slash theory slash fact. But it was something that I
Interesting.
mean I still love the haunted mansion even though it doesn't have it. It was my grandmother and my favorite ride, so that's why it's kind of near and dear to my heart. So I'll always love these guys behind me.
I
But
got you. I can understand that.
now this one is a fact. It's not a
Oh,
theory.
not
It's not a
myth, not
myth.
theory.
It
Just
is a
straight up
fact.
fact.
This is gonna be
This is
James
where
saying
Walt.
like Disney World is awesome.
This is
Okay.
where Walt Disney decided to
Uh-huh.
mess with your mind, man. So, have y'all ever heard of forced perspective?
Can't say that I
Force.
have.
Are
So
you
it's
talking
where
about
they,
like okay.
yeah, where they take the sizes of things and make them.
Yeah.
It's sort of like with the kaiju movies, like the old Godzilla movies, where they put the camera. The Godzilla is like it's the guy,
Yeah.
but the buildings look real stuff. So,
Yeah.
they use a lot of forced perspective at Disney. They like to hide stuff at Disney. I talked earlier about the Epcot theme park and Hollywood Studios being like right next door to each other. At a certain spot, if you stand and look toward Morocco, you'll see buildings back there. But
Uh-huh.
behind one of them is the Tower of Terror.
I've been
But
on that ride.
it blends into Morocco to make it look like it's part of it. That's part of the forced perspective. That's why they use the buildings around it to kind of focus it in. But you
Why
can kind of
Interesting.
shift and be like, oh wait, that's the Tower of Terror if you shift just a tiny bit over.
Huh.
what's the purpose?
The purpose is because the Tower of Terror is so tall that you inevitably gonna be able to see it.
Uh-huh.
But it blends into the reason it's painted the way it is, the reason it looks the way it is to blend into Morocco. So it doesn't take the fact that you're at or you're seeing a different theme park from another.
Oh, okay.
But they use force the best example of one is what I'm going to get to here is on Magic Kingdom. They use forced perspective to make things harder to leave is one of the best ways to put it. It's the buildings on Magic are on Main Street.
You are not
Uh,
allowed to leave.
yeah, pretty much.
You will
So
stay at Disney forever.
so if you're walking in the buildings from walking towards the castle go from tall or small or bigger to smaller,
Yeah.
and then that way when you're leaving it's the opposite. The way that it's done for going in is also to make the castle look a lot bigger than it actually is. Also it makes it feel like you're moving quicker toward the middle of the park rather than and then when you're leaving it feels like you're taking forever to leave. It's not just the crowd. It feels like it takes forever to leave because the buildings are getting larger instead of smaller, so it's like you're
You know, I
Hmm.
did have that feeling when we were leaving Disney. Like
Yeah.
it
Right.
felt like it just took forever to get the hell out of there.
And like your wallet is, you know,
shrinking
your
too, yeah,
funds are shrinking.
because the
You-
smells are
by-
coming out.
By the time you get back to your car, you realize you have no money left.
Yeah, you don't understand, honey. It's forced perspective. There's money in there.
Realize that you've been robbed by a mouse.
Yeah.
The mouse robbed you. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. That was my last one I wanted to finish with, just because it was so. It was
I do
because it
like
was
that.
true
That's
fact.
interesting.
And that was something that Walt Disney came up with. I mean, if you want to really get into some weird facts, you could count just
That's
about
right.
every 30 steps there is a trash can.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because people are more encouraged to throw away their own
Yeah.
trash if there's always
Well,
one available to you.
Yeah.
Walt's kind of stalked people at one of the parks. I think it was Disneyland or a different theme park. I don't remember. He kind of stalked people, watched them, and he pretty much kind of did his research. And about every 30 steps, it would take about 30 steps before with somebody with a piece of trash, where they just decide to forget it and throw it somewhere.
I mean, the dude
So
knew what he was doing.
yeah,
I mean,
Walt was a genius.
We never got into the Walt like froze his head
Because
theory.
well, that's for another day. That's for another
yeah,
Disney
that's
episode.
This is a Disney episode.
We can't just
About
do
there's
all the Disney. We can't do all the
there's
Disney
so
stuff in
many
one episode.
theories.
We can have
Okay.
another episode that James
This
can
is
put together for us.
Dustin. This is not a small world of theories.
I can't wait until I can't wait until the next episode. And James is gonna be like, so many people have died at Disney. Like he's just gonna like flip the script on us.
So no,
Yeah.
I mean there have been lots of I mean they don't call them
Close
deaths
calls.
because you no
Yes, it's the
they're
happiest
pretty much
place on
dying.
earth. Yeah.
They're unresponsive. That's what they call it. They're unresponsive. It's happened on Mount Everest a few times. Mission Space has had a couple of them. Test Track has had a couple. They
I
just
mean,
call
in
them unresponsive.
theory, EMT showing up, and even if you're gone, you can't declare someone dead. EMTs are not
Yeah.
certified to do that. The only people who can certify someone dead is a doctor. So unless there's doctor on scene, technically you're not dead. You don't die until a
And
doctor
yeah,
declares
it
you.
always made me wonder, do you think like I wanted to run this past you. Do you think a doctor could just run up and be like, I'm a doctor? He's
I'm a
dead.
doctor.
Or do you
Is
think
it
it has to be like
All right,
somebody at a
well set.
hospital? Yeah.
It has
is
to be
it
somebody at the hospital who's connected. You can't just run up and say, I'm a doctor. Yep, he's
Like
dead,
here's my
guys.
card.
Exactly.
Here's my license
No.
and stuff. But yeah.
No.
I like to think that it's like continental rules from like John Wick. Like they see like really unhealthy couple come in or something, and they're like not on continental grounds.
Yeah.
Like you and your whole family will be excommunicado if one of you dies here. Never
You're
again to
no longer
return.
allowed never
Yeah.
allowed to return to Disney. The House of Mouse has banished you.
Uh-huh.
There
Um,
have been many people who have been banished.
Oh, I'm sure.
One of them. I watch a vlogger named Adam of the Woo. He does the Daily Woo. He lives in Central Florida right now. Owns a house in Celebration, which is a Disney town. But he was banned from Disney for actually exploring that water park that we just or talked about on the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't. I don't remember hearing music or anything playing, so I don't know if it was at that time it was gone.
Yeah.
But he was banned. He's banned from Universal Studios Orlando. He was banned from Disney World, but he was able to get the ban from Disney World lifted.
Well, good for him.
Yeah. But
So if you like
say
these
like-
shenanigans,
Ooh,
Good job,
yeah.
James.
good job, James. You can find us over on Facebook, facebook.com/Centerway Society. You can find us on TikTok, tiktok.com/@the Centerway Society. We post way too much crap on TikTok, not enough on Facebook, which is something I will be working on as the weeks and months go by, I guess. Obviously, where you're listening to us or watching us right now is where you can find us: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Radio Public are both shutting down. So you won't be, by the end of March, you won't be able to find us at either of those places because they won't exist. Next week, we have something different. Whether it's raindrops on roses or whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles or warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. Next week, we talk about our favorite things.
Dustin, it's Christmas again.
Well, it wouldn't be my favorite. Well, no,
There's-
it is
th-
now
that
because
was
Yeah, Rob turned it around. It's my favorite thing in the world
These
again.
are
He
a
forgot
few
that he
of
likes
my
Christmas again.
favorite things.
That's right.
We are
I-
actually putting World's Best Pods on his favorite
Yes.
Christmas present of all time.
Yes.
Next week we are actually unveiling a new show for the Centerway Society. We're just going to take a category and we're going to talk some of our favorite stuff in that particular category. Next week we're going to do our favorite monologues in movie history, movie,
Or
TV show,
speeches.
or speeches, things like that.
It's got to be a little
It's
vague.
yeah, a little bit. It's gonna be we're still test running it. Next week is our guinea pig episode. We're gonna see how it goes. Basically we just want to talk about some of our favorite stuff. We want to do something positive because sometimes we just get entirely too negative and we talk about how people can't die on Disney property.
Yeah.
So next week we're gonna do talk about some of our favorite things. Whether that's hold on. I have the lyrics for the song up on my phone. It's
Can I
fine.
point something out?
Whether it's cream-colored ponies or crisp apple strudels,
Oh,
doorbells and sleigh bells, and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. I gotta save the rest for next week, otherwise I'm not gonna have anything to talk about.
Dustin, I heard sleigh bells.
Sleigh bells.
There were sleigh bells. All right. Anyways, that's it for us. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
See ya.